Chapter 2. A definition of keys. The power and authority of the higher, or Melchizedek priesthood, is to hold the keys of all the spiritual blessings of the Church. D&C 107:18. To define the function of priesthood keys is very similar to defining the use of car keys. In both cases, they unlock something so it can be used. But before legitimately using these keys, the following questions should be answered. 1. Who should use them? 2. What vehicle are they for? 3. When should they be used? 4. How should they be used? There are millions of keys that belong to houses, cars, offices, bank boxes, toolboxes, and the list goes on and on. Almost everything of value is protected with locks and keys. There are other related definitions for keys as well. For instance, a teacher may explain a key to speed reading. A policeman may say he discovered the key to solving a crime. The Lord has said, "This greater priesthood administereth the gospel and holdeth the key of the mysteries of the kingdom, even the key of the knowledge of God." D&C 84:19. All this implies that some knowledge is necessary to unlock these mysteries. From the dictionary comes the following. Key: anything serving to disclose, open, or solve something. Something that opens or prepares a way. New Internal. Dick. 1699. Key: something regarded as like a key in opening or closing a way, revealing or concealing ... gives access to or control of. Webster's New World Dick. 1984. In reality, then, a key is something functioning that performs an action. It is not dormant. It might be disclosing or opening something such as a car or the heavens. For purposes of this study, the term keys of the priesthood refers to the knowledge, the right, the calling, and the power to lock, unlock, or perform something in the name of God. People frequently assume what keys are before they correctly understand them. For example, many individuals today are looking for the keys of the priesthood and the person who holds them. It seems proper, however, to first learn exactly what keys are, then determine what keys he is looking for, and then decide what he wants to accomplish after he finds them. Countless keys have been revealed for use in this dispensation of the fullness of times, for when it was ushered in, the Lord said there was a whole and complete and perfect union, and welding together of dispensations, and keys, and powers, and glories, and many things were brought back from the days of Adam, of things which never had been revealed from the foundation of the world. D&C 128:18. What keys is he talking about, and what powers and glories, so long kept hidden, have come with those keys? They make an interesting and rather lengthy list. Those mentioned in the Doctrine and Covenants are: the keys of the gift of translation, 628. The keys of the ministering of angels, 13:1 and 107:20. The keys of the ministry, 7:7. The keys of the record of the stick of Ephraim, 27:5. The keys of the power of turning the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to the fathers, 27:9. The keys of the mystery of those things which have been sealed, 35:18. The keys of the church, 42:68. The keys of the mysteries of the kingdom, 64:4. The keys of salvation, 78:16. The keys of the kingdom, 92. The keys of the school of the prophets, 97. The keys of all the spiritual blessings of the church, 107:18. The keys of the gathering of Israel, 110:11. The keys of this dispensation, 110:16. The keys of the priesthood of Aaron, 107:70. The keys of the patriarchal blessings, 124:92. The keys to ask and receive blessings, 124:97. The keys to open up the authority of my kingdom upon the four corners of the earth, 124:128. The keys of knowledge, 128:14. Three grand keys whereby you may know whether any administration is from God, 129:9. The keys of sealing by the Holy Spirit of promise of a woman to a man, 132:1939. In addition, many other keys were mentioned by early church leaders. Keys of government. Keys of words. Keys of the oracles of God. Keys of divine revelation. Keys of the stick of Joseph. Keys to the stick of Ephraim. Keys of eternal life. Keys of the gospel. Keys of the office of baptism. Keys of communion with the heavenly Jerusalem. Keys to power. Keys of the resurrection. Keys of death and hell. Keys of intelligence. Keys to the rich storehouse. Keys to the gifts and graces of God. Keys of light. Keys to the treasury of heaven. Key to the science of theology. keys to blessings, keys to eternal mysteries, keys to science, keys to true principles, keys to administering ordinances, keys to divine power, keys to temples and temple building, keys to a labor, keys to the Holy Church, keys to restoring, keys to the right to officiate, keys to lead the 10 tribes, keys to success, keys of responsibility, keys to the high priesthood, keys to the apostleship, keys to the patriarchal office, keys to heavenly treasures, keys to rally for God's work, keys for binding and sealing, keys for individual growth, keys to storehouses, keys of Elijah, keys to endowments. The list could go on as if there were no end to these spiritual keys. When the Lord calls a person to do a particular work, he gives him the temporal and spiritual means to do it, as Nephi said. I know that the Lord giveth no commandments unto the children of men, save he shall prepare a way for them that they may accomplish the thing which he commandeth them. 1 Nephi 3:7. In other words, when God calls a man to do something, he also gives him both the authority and the keys to accomplish it. President Joseph F. Smith probably said more about priesthood and its keys than any other church president or apostle. He explained, "What is a key? It is the right or privilege which belongs to and comes with the priesthood to have communication with God. Is not that a key? Most decidedly. We may not enjoy the blessings or key very much, but the key is in the priesthood. It is the right to enjoy the blessing of communication with the heavens." Gospel Doctrine, page 142. The Lord himself explained that the rights of the priesthood are inseparably connected with the powers of heaven, and that the powers of heaven cannot be controlled nor handled only upon the principles of righteousness. D&C 121:36. John the Baptist told Joseph Smith and Oliver Cowdery about the priesthood of Aaron, which holds the keys of the ministering of angels. D&C 13:1, and Wilford Woodruff testified to this when he said, "I had the administration of angels while holding the office of a priest." Disc of Wilford Woodruff, page 298. Bruce R. McConkie explained, the term keys is found in the Revelations. One has reference to the directive powers. Mormon Doctrine, page 410. Consider the combined meaning of all these statements. If you had the inseparable powers of heaven, and an angel came to you, giving you the directive powers to do something, would you not have the keys to do it? Even the best Bible scholars have come to this same conclusion, i.e., since it is the doctrine of the gospel that opens heaven to us, it is beautifully expressed by the metaphorical appellation of keys. With the Reformers, it has been accepted that the power of the keys represented the use of power under the direction of the Holy Spirit. Tyndale's Ank of the Bible, 3:1255. The most important and powerful keys given to man are contained within the authority of the Melchizedek priesthood, for the Lord has said that the Melchizedek priesthood holds the keys of all the spiritual blessings of the church, to have the privilege of receiving the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, to have the heavens opened unto them, to commune with the general assembly and church of the firstborn, and to enjoy the communion and presence of God the Father, and Jesus the mediator of the new covenant. D&C 107:18-19. Let's reiterate what keys does he say the Melchizedek priesthood contains? Keys that would open 1. All the spiritual blessings of the church. 2. The mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. 3. The heavens unto them. 4. Communion with the general assembly. 5. Communion with the church of the firstborn. 6. Communion of God the Father and Jesus. 7. The presence of God the Father and Jesus. All 7 segments refer to that inseparable connection with the powers of heaven, which contain the directive powers or keys. But what Melchizedek priesthood holder today realizes the full significance of these 7 keys, let alone exercises them? If the Church of Jesus Christ is to operate on a spiritual foundation, then these keys must be present. In recent years there has been a meshing together of the meanings of church, priesthood and keys, and it is supposed that they are all inseparable. However, each is very distinct and different. The definition of church should be obvious, but not so with priesthood and keys. Joseph F. Smith made a clear distinction between the two. The priesthood in general is the authority given to man to act for God. Every man ordained to any degree of the priesthood has this authority delegated to him. But it is necessary that every act performed under this authority shall be done at the proper time and place, in the proper way, and after the proper order. The power of directing these labors constitutes the keys of the priesthood. a distinction must be carefully made between the general authority and the directing of the labors performed by that authority. Imp. Era, 4230, January 1901. If nothing else is remembered in this book, it should be the distinction between these two terms. 1. The priesthood in general is the authority given to man to act for God. 2. The power of directing these labors constitutes the keys of the priesthood. Holding or bearing the priesthood is one thing, but being called to use it in a particular capacity is another. Furthermore, it does not mean that one person holding certain priesthood keys has any more authority than another person with different keys. Once again from Joseph F. Smith. He may delegate any portion of this power to another, in which case that person holds the keys of that particular labor. Thus, the president of a temple, the president of a stake, the bishop of a ward, the president of a mission, the president of a quorum, each holds the keys of the labors performed in that particular body or locality. His priesthood is not increased by this special appointment, for a 70 who presides over a mission has no more priesthood than a 70 who labors under his direction, and the president of an elders' quorum, for example, has no more priesthood than any member of that quorum. But he holds the power of directing the official labors performed in the mission or the quorum, or, in other words, the keys of that division of the work. So it is throughout all the ramifications of the priesthood a distinction must be carefully made between the general authority and the directing of the labors performed by that authority. Gospel Doctrine, page 168. When a church president receives revelation for the operation of the body of the church, then he has these keys over the church, for the Melchizedek priesthood holds the right of presidency and has power and authority over all the offices in the church in all ages of the world to administer and spiritual things. D&C 107-8. Nevertheless, as mentioned, the power and authority of the higher, or Melchizedek priesthood, is to hold the keys of all the spiritual blessings of the church. 107-18. Thus, if the church president or any of his subordinates are not inspired, then they do not have the keys for guiding the church. An inspired president can pass keys on to other officers in the church to help direct them in their particular work. Heber C. Kimball explained. Brother Brigham is my brother, and holds the keys to all the departments of the priesthood on this earth, and when he unlocks the door it will come open. He has a bundle of keys, and, if they were keys like these in my hand, no 10 men in this congregation could carry or lift them. He possesses the keys of all the different gifts and graces that God designs for this people. Can you realize it? Some do, and some do not. It is Brother Brigham that holds the keys, yes, above every other man that lives in the flesh, not above Joseph Smith. When he says, Brother Heber, take that key and open such or such a door, then I have authority to go and unlock that door, the same as he has. If he says, Brother Wells, take this key and go and unlock such a door, he then has the same power as Brother Brigham has to unlock that door. If he says, Brother Hyde, take this key and other small keys and go to the nations of the earth and open into different nations, Brother Hyde then has the power and authority, with his brethren of the 12, to open the door, preach the gospel, build up the church, organize it, and set it in order in every nation, kingdom, tongue, and island, so far as he has received the keys and authority. When Brother Brigham gives a bishop a key pertaining to a ward, that bishop has power to open and shut, to teach, prophesy, and administer the word of life, according to his holy calling in his department. J.D. 4-171. The president of the church has all the keys of presiding over all of the offices of the church. He orders, directs, ordains, and governs the body of the church. No other mortal has all those keys. However, any man holding the Melchizedek priesthood has just as much authority as the president of the church. He may receive even more revelation than the president, but not for governing the church. John Taylor explained what powers and blessings are received through higher priesthood keys. What has the Lord done for us? He has opened the heavens and has revealed the principles of truth. He has sent his holy angels to communicate unto the children of men the things that are calculated to promote their peace and happiness in time and throughout all eternity. He has given unto us, his people, the holy priesthood after the order of Melchizedek, which holds the keys of the mysteries of the revelations of God, which draws back the curtains of the invisible world, and enables him to penetrate beyond the veil, and discloses the great purposes of Jehovah pertaining to himself and to this world, as they shall roll forth in the accomplishment of his purposes. J.D. 6-163. Many men in the church may be noble, honest, clean living, and have the best of intentions, but it does not mean their decisions and actions are always correct or from the Lord. Joseph Smith had the gift of prophecy and was all that a prophet should be, but it still did not allow him to perform certain works or ordinances without the specific call to use that authority. Brigham Young clarified this. When Joseph first received the knowledge of the plates that were in the hill Cumorah, he did not then receive the keys of the Aaronic priesthood, he merely received the knowledge that the plates were there, and that the Lord would bring them forth, and that they contained the history of the Aborigines natives of this country. He received the knowledge that they were once in possession of the gospel, and from that time he went on, step by step, until he obtained the plates, and the Urim and Thummim, and had power to translate them. This did not make him an apostle, it did not give to him the keys of the kingdom, nor make him an elder in Israel. He was a prophet, and had the spirit of prophecy, and had received all this before the Lord ordained him. And when the Lord, by revelation, told him to go to Pennsylvania, he did so, and finished the translation of the Book of Mormon. And when the Lord, in another revelation, told him to come back into New York State, and to go to old Father Whitmer's, who lived in a place opposite Waterloo, and there stop, he did so, and had meetings, and gathered up the few who believed in his testimony. He received the Aaronic priesthood, and then he received the keys of the Melchizedek priesthood, and organized the church. He first received the power to baptize, and still did not know that he was to receive any more, until the Lord told him there was more for him. Then he received the keys of the Melchizedek priesthood, and had power to confirm after he had baptized, which he had not before. J.D. 18:239-240. If men have the keys of prophecy, then they should prophesy. If men have the keys of translation, then they should produce readable material from ancient records. If men claim the keys of revelation, then they should receive revelations. The Catholic and Protestant churches claim to have those keys, but there is no evidence of the fruits of that power. Could a man say he is a grocer but has no groceries? The prophet Joseph commented on this. Because faith is wanting, the fruits are. No man since the world was had faith without having something along with it. The ancients quenched the violence of fire, escaped the edge of the sword, women received their dead, etc. By faith the worlds were made. A man who has none of the gifts has no faith, and he deceives himself, if he supposes he has. TPJS, page 270. And the same criteria can be used for keys. Those who profess to hold the keys to prophecy, revelation, etc., should look carefully at their fruits of these powers before making such public claims. Summary. Keys of any kind are for the purpose of unlocking or controlling a particular object or activity. The term keys is not meant to denote authority. If someone finds your car keys, that does not automatically give him your authority to drive it. Brigham Young acknowledged that God had given the saints both authority and keys. Thanks be to the Lord our God. For the spirit of revelation he has bestowed upon us, and for the holy priesthood and the keys thereof, by which the heavens are opened. JD 829. Keys of the priesthood unlock the power to use the holy priesthood. If Brother Brigham had said the keys of translation, it would have referred to the secrets of some different language. Keys of the ministry unlock the door pertaining to missionary work. Keys of Elijah unlock the power to do sealing for the living and the dead. Keys of Elias unlock the way for a preparatory work. Keys to the ministry of angels mean unlocking the heavens to commune with angels. Keys of the gathering are to unlock the ways to gather Israel. Men may have priesthood authority to do these things, but when they have the keys, then they can actually unlock the door and function in those different areas. To reiterate, keys of the priesthood refers to the knowledge, the right, and the power to lock, unlock, or perform something in the name of God. Too often people make the mistake of thinking that keys means authority or position, but each term has a completely different meaning, which will be the subject of our next chapter.